Electricast.
I was never really a runner. The way I see running is a gift, especially when you have stage 4 cancer. I'm Anne. I'm running the Boston Marathon, presented by Bank of America. I run for Dana-Farber Cancer Institute to give people like me a chance to thrive in life, even with cancer.
Join Bank of America in helping Anne's cause. Give if you can at BofA.com/supportAnne. What would you like the power to do? References to charitable organizations is not an endorsement by Bank of America Corporation. Copyright 2025.
The kids are still at practice, and I have no idea what's for dinner.
You can get a rotisserie chicken and 2 sides for just $15 in as fast as an hour with Walmart Express Delivery.
Who said that? Who's in my house? Don't play with me, because I'm not the one.
It's just your friendly Walmart announcer. This is a commercial.
Oh, okay. You were saying dinner for a family was just $15?
Yep, it'll be at your door by the time you get the kids home from practice. Order now. Welcome to your Walmart. Subject to availability, restrictions and fees apply.
Now that was a helpful commercial.
Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Championship Rewrap. It's official. It's back. Full-blown, no name change, nothing, all right? We are just back as the Championship Rewrap. I'm here with Rayshawn Buchanan, Hollywood Ray, as always, and Mr. Michael Marcangelo. How we doing tonight, boys?
Good, man. I'm excited to relive the glory days.
Yeah, man.
It's been rough in present day, so it's good to go back to, when things were good.
Rough is we'll get into this later.
It's all relative.
Rough is a very relative term when it comes to being a New England fan, and there's a good reason why. So we'll get started on that note. So 2004, guys, I just want to put everyone, kind of in the time machine. Everyone step in. Boop, 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 boop. We're going back in time. Rick and Morty just showed up. We're zipping on back. It's 2004. I don't know. I got some events here just to kind of give everyone, a little rundown of what it actually was like in 2004. So first of all, September 2004, or I guess October, something important happened in Boston. Not sure if anyone's heard of it before. Hashtag Yankees blew a 3-0 lead. Red Sox won a World Series. That's 2004. Listen to the Championship Rewrap 2004 episode.
Show notes.
2004 Athens Olympics happened. I was trying to figure, is that the Michael Phelps Olympics? No, right? That's before.
No, that was
Beijing.
Beijing, you're right.
And the U.S. basketball team lost to Carlos Arroyo.
Oh, the Greek tug. Yeah, that was bad one. That was bad one.
Another show.
Movies came out this year. Shrek 2, Spider-Man 2, Incredibles, Ocean's 12. TV is a little bigger than the movies that year. House debuted in 2004.
Wow.
Friends went off the air, so we have a big show coming up. Maybe the biggest TV show ever, or biggest sitcom, I guess. Music, yeah, by Usher. The Way You Move, Outcast, which were just my jams back in the day, bro. Those were my two jams. Peace up. And lastly, guys, I hope everyone's ready for this. 2 things. This is what it was titled. The Facebook was launched in 2004. It was titled The Facebook, and you had to have a @edu email address to sign up for it. A little fun fact for all you youngins out there now.
Unless you were invited by a friend in college.
Right, unless you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot about that little loophole, bro. That's so funny. Because there was like, oh, bro, you're a senior in high school and you have a Facebook? What? I remember. Lastly,
wow.
The word iPhone was not a thing on the planet Earth. It had not existed yet. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 2004.
Thank Christ.
Right.
The Razor was the best phone at that time.
The Razor.
Sure.
Yeah. Razor.
Wow. The Razor. Oh, the T-Mobile Sidekick. For those that remember that.
The LG Chocolate.
Oh my God! Someone sold phones back in the day.
Shout out to the homegirl Carrots. Yeah, she had LG Chocolate. Yeah, shout out to Verizon. Yeah, wow. Yeah, I remember that. Wow. Oh, that definitely the time machine. You did forget one song just that I want to bring up.
Yeah.
So, I'm probably the most unlikely to bring this up, but I listen to everything as we all do. Green Day, When September Ends was
Nice.
song.
That was that whole album, right? American
Yes, yeah,
Idiot,
American Idiot,
Boulevard,
American
the whole
Idiot,
thing.
yeah, all that.
Um,
Yep.
Yeah, and were we in college? We weren't even in college yet.
No,
We were
I was
still
a freshman in high school.
fresh high school, like sophomore, freshman.
I was junior.
I had pimples
Yeah.
all over my face. See, now that we're back in 2004, because I talk like this now. Yeah, we'll just go right into the Patriots. You know, we got everything that's kind of happened in the world at this time. Beginning of the season, the Red Sox are champions, and it kind of just feels like at this time, you know, once the Sox, so the Pats got there 2 before the Sox got the 1. Once the Sox got the 1, it kind of just felt like, you know, we were like that cloud of darkness that was around Boston for all these years had finally been lifted. And this Patriots team kind of felt like the reason why that ultimately got lifted, those first 2, you know. And this third one was, you know, I dare to say the most dominant of all the Patriots Super Bowls out of all of them. Just a quick recap for you guys. 14-2. This was the team that had the streak of 18 consecutive wins, which got snapped against the Steelers, and they had smoked in the playoffs. Spoiler alert. I mean, this team was up and down, just the best out of all of them. It was the epitome. It was the epitome of the Patriot way. Just one thing that Ty Law got hurt in this season. Doesn't matter. Troy Brown comes in and plays corner. So just a little of what this team actually was. But go ahead. What do you remember about him?
So I just remember after the 2003, like at the end of the 2003 season, you kind of felt like, wow, this team's a wagon, right? At 2003, they added Rodney Harrison. They still had Ty Law. Brady was starting to come into his own, but that defense was elite. And the one thing that you thought that they were missing in the game was a rushing attack. Oh, so they go and trade for Corey Dillon for a 2nd round pick in 2004, who just spent the last 7 years just drowning in mediocrity in Cincinnati. I mean, they never even sniffed a playoff game. And you figure they get him, and then the draft wasn't great, but the top 2 spots were. I mean, Will Fork and Ben Watson, those 2 were instant collaborators and contributors to 2004. I just felt like going into that season, it would be hard to stop them. And it all started opening night. When you get Peyton Manning on prime time opening night, and you get to see the Peyton Manning face, back when the Peyton Manning face was not a happy one, like it was just a great start to the year.
Back when Peyton Manning not being able to get past Belichick and the Patriots was like his legacy defining what he was. He was like the Dan Marino of this generation before he won that Super Bowl because of it. Yeah, I mean, Rayshawn, I already went over, you know, this team was the epitome of the Patriot way, up and down, you know, next man up. Every Patriots cliche you can think of pretty much were solidified with this 2014. What do you remember?
Yeah, I think this is just when they solidified themselves as the team of the 2000s. Obviously, there were some other defining moments that happened later on that decade that I'm sure we'll get into at some other point. But yeah, they, you know, for a team that ended up winning 21 straight, I think at one point, 18 in the regular season, and obviously, you know, Brady and Bill had been undefeated together in the playoffs up until that moment. So, like, yeah, they were a juggernaut to say the least. And you know, this was the culmination of becoming, you know, the original dynasty. Thankfully, there was more to come. But at that moment, it was just like, wow, like this team has really come a long way from the, you know, Steve Rogans and Andre Tippett's and Stanley Morgan's, you know, the teams that our parents watched and, you know, always told us that they wouldn't get there. And they did get there. They were going to get smoked because, you know, they got smoked at Super Bowl 20. They got beat in Super Bowl 31. So it just seemed to be a thing that, you know, you can get there and you can have success, but it wouldn't always come together the way that you envisioned. So this was the first team that our generation could wrap our arms around so to speak. And yeah, they dominated in every way. And it was on display once again in that 04 season.
McDonald's meets the Minecraft universe with one of 6 collectibles and your choice of a Big Mac or 10-piece McNuggets with spicy Nether Flame sauce. Now available with a Minecraft movie meal.
At participating McDonald's for a limited time, a Minecraft movie only in theaters.
I just want to also kind of rewind a little bit to remind everyone of, we keep saying they had won 2 out of 3 up until this point. Remember, the year before this, they won maybe the most underrated Super Bowl in the history, Super Bowls against the Panthers. At this point, we were all kind of wondering what was going to be the identity of this team moving forward, because they had the 0-1 season where they were scrappy and they did really well in the 0-1 season, kind of played above their means. And then 0-2 happened and they went right back into what we thought they were originally: average, mediocre, lots of mistakes, lots of stupid turnovers. And then 0-3 happens and they're just dominant. And we're like, man, that could be special. That could really be special, because that's when you started to see the inner workings of like just Hall of Fame caliber players start coming out, where it's no longer, when you see the scores on Sunday, you no longer like, oh man, cool, the Patriots won. You're like, of course the Patriots won. They won by 40. You know what I mean? That's when this started to happen, where it started to turn from like an underdog story into like, bro, these guys are just dominating the NFL. I don't want to spend too much time on the regular season. This is already the 3rd one we've done on this team, and it's literally the same core, same regular season speech we have. I just think the biggest moment, I think, personally, about the regular season to me was the Steelers game they lost, for 2 reasons specifically, because, it lit a fire under their ass. They kind of woke them up a little bit that they're not perfect and they can actually be beat. And then the injury to Ty Watt and Tyrone Poole in that game is the most memorable thing of that team to me, because, like I said, they epitomized the Patriot way. And for guys like was he undrafted or second round Asante Samuel? I want to say
haven't played Troy Brown being back there.
Bucky Jones played this season. Am I right about that?
No, I think he was on one. I don't think he played in time. That was the Eugene Wilson.
Randall Gay. That's who it was. Yeah, Randall Gay. And Troy Brown.
Yeah.
Man, but Troy Brown is the period. He is the Patriot way. When you think Patriot way is Troy Brown, and this season was
for sure
epitome of that. What do you guys?
I do think the Pittsburgh game is important, because obviously of what the game meant and what they ended up being someone that they were going to see down the line, or they felt that was going to be a team they see down the line with their rookie quarterback at the time, Roethlisberger. But I do think going back to the offseason, right before the draft, I think really was the move that really set up what it was. Because once again, when you go 14-2, there's not many things you need to tweak as a team. You just have to really make sure that you stay healthy and that you guys have the same hunger coming back. So what do they do in the offseason? Once again, they lose my guy Antoine Smith. He isn't going elsewhere. I don't know if he retired, but he might go elsewhere. Then you bring in a guy who was the best running back of this era, regardless of there'll be other episodes that we'll talk about. There's not a running back that touches the guy that I'm about to bring up. Corey Dillon was, well, maybe the other 28 that popped up, James White, but we'll get to that. But Corey Dillon.
Robert Edwards, bro. What about Robert Edwards? No, I was kidding.
Well, he would have been if he didn't tear.
Deep cut.
If he didn't tear his ACL playing fucking beach volleyball. But that's once again, I don't want to get upset this early in the show. But no, listen, Corey Dillon comes in. I mean, basically, he ended up being in for 3 or 4 seasons, but that 04 season comes in and really set the tone right. Obviously, they already had a well-oiled machine, but he was coming in hungry, and this became a trend, right? This became a trend at that time when Bill was grabbing other people from other teams that hadn't won, had that veteran presence, was ready to win. The Ronnie Harris of the world, obviously,
Brian Cox,
so that was that next move, and that's when everyone was saying, man, Bill is playing chess while everyone's playing checkers. And at the time, to get Dillon from Cincinnati for a 2nd round pick, it was just like, yo, like what a steal. So that he gave that offense something they haven't had then and really haven't had since. And I know, in present day to turn it back up to 2023, the running back position is devalued. But back to 2004, that's when that position was really at a premium. So him, Curtis Martin, Emmitt Smith was at telling his career. I'm trying to think of someone that's on the top of my head, but those are guys. I think about my guy in Green Bay. Green was really good at that time. Like there was a lot of guys that were really
Clinton Portis.
Clinton Portis was another one. There was another
That was
guy.
the running back era, bro. 04 was
Yeah,
the golden
so
age
there
of
was
running
a lot of
backs.
guys. LT, Robert Smith that was up in Minnesota. So there was a lot of guys that really were killing it at that position. So for Bill to get one of those premier guys and for him to become the focal point, I think the year before he had 105 carries. He comes here in 04 and gets 345 carries, plus 60-35. It just becomes a man back there. So I just think that was a point on the label that's when he started to really play chess and not checkers. But like I said, obviously you can cue it up for the Pittsburgh game, in my opinion.
Also, like that Pittsburgh game, that was a team that was scary, right? Because they were coming out of the Cordell Stewart / Tommy Maddox experience. And yeah, and they
he was the OG Kurt Warner for everyone, in case you're wondering.
That's right. And they got a rookie quarterback. I think the went 15-1 that year, and
sure did.
They were the only team up to that point that put a scare. And obviously they gave us a loss. They broke the winning streak. But it was an ugly game that we never ever had control of. Like not to rip off a wrestling thing, but that was like Halloween Havoc. Like there was nothing good about watching that game, and the fact that they lost, they were down. They lost what? It was 34-20. That was final score, but it never felt that close. And for a team that hadn't faced that much adversity in so long, you wondered what it was going to do. And I think that what you saw after that, I think it was like a 6-game winning streak. So it was fine. But that game, that was Roethlisberger's coming out party, and I think it really kind of set the table for the playoffs.
Yeah, it's funny that game. I remember it because you're right.
Because you're rooting against us. Of course you do.
No, I wasn't yet. Not yet. It didn't happen until the perfect season where I started to resent everyone. So, but I remember this specifically because the week before they kind of played like shit too against the Jets. They only won like 13-7, 14-7, something like that. It was one of those. Tom Brady doesn't really look that great. He's missing the throws. Dylan's grinding away on the ground. It was a Jets-Pats game. The same Jets-Pats game we had this year that Rayshawn went to, where there was no touchdowns the entire time. Same thing.
Right.
And it seemed like a bad trend. And then for them to come out and answer, you're completely right. I think the next week they beat, I think it was the Bills. It was like 40-21 or something crazy.
It was the Rams. It was 40-22.
There we go. And that just set it off for the rest of the year. Notables for the season. You guys have anything else to add for the regular season? I mean, we can get into the ground.
If you think about everything that like Ray and I just talked about, like the addition of Corey Dillon and the well-oiled machine, that game, I think the Patriots ran the ball 6 times for 5 yards because Corey Dillon was hurt. He didn't play that game. So it was all on Brady. That was one of like the first times, and it was one of many to come, when everything was on him. And he looked, like you said, Bobby, he looked pedestrian. He was like 25 of 43 for, it was like 250 yards and he threw 2 picks. Like he did not look good.
And he had plenty of those games early on, right? And I think this is the season where you see him become what he ends up becoming later on in his career, really from that point on. We'll talk about that, in the playoffs. There's some players that I think when it comes to mind, that he started to show his prowess and show that he wasn't just a guy, but he was going to be the guy, not just for the right now in 04, but really for the remainder of his career. But I think for me, it was the Baltimore game. I forget what the final score was for the Baltimore game, but I remember
24-3.
Yeah. So, but Baltimore, I mean, I know their quarterback was really weird after the trend up for a year.
Kyle Bowler that year was a bowler.
Yeah, no, so it wasn't Anthony Wright. I thought it was Anthony Wright. Sorry, but
I thought it was Elvis Gerback, for God's sakes.
No. I thought he was before, but I remember him playing there, obviously. But
Gerback was the year after Delphin.
But Baltimore had always, they had always scared me because with as long as 20 was back there, as long as 52 was out there, like it was always, he was just about to be the the Madden cover. Remember when that was a real big thing? He was on the Madden cover.
They couldn't find the white suit.
Yeah. So
Allegedly.
yeah, it's like, well, allegedly, right?
No, they
Yeah.
couldn't find it.
Yeah, no. Listen, I'm not getting into that, but I used to be nervous of Baltimore because they always played us hard. So when they end up beating them, and then I think they end up smacking the Jets for the second time, or I'm like, okay, like they seem primed, they're ready for the playoffs. It's just a matter of what seed they're gonna be. I know they end up being the 2 seed because Baltimore. Pittsburgh was 15-1, and they had lost the tiebreaker. So, but we later on found out that whenever they had the bye, most likely they were going to at least get to the championship game, if not the Super Bowl. So this kind of set that up for future runs.
Yeah. So I completely just forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yes. So I think what really kind of sums everything up is like this is like the return of the Jedi of the Patriots' first 3 Super Bowls, where it's like the final chapter. Is everything kind of came together for this team for me, and that's what Dylan did. Where it was like 0-1 was scrappy defense, stay in the game till the end, find a way to win. 0-3 was defense. Little bit of Tom Brady.
Yeah,
But
so
99%.
except for the Super Bowl where it was offense in the second half.
Well, yeah, which is just ridiculous. But
Really just the fourth quarter.
that greatest fourth quarter ever. That 0-3 team's defense was just amazing. But now this 0-4 team is the same defense with the same running game, same offensive line that made Antoine Smith into a Pro Bowler who was not a Pro Bowler before he came to New England. Let's set that record straight. Not even close to a Pro Bowler. He was okay, but he wasn't great. And you replace him with a top 3 running back in the NFL. And you have wide receivers like Deion Branch. You have wide receivers like David Givens. You have would we have Givens yet? Was this Givens?
Yeah,
Givens was my guy. I loved it.
I can't believe we haven't brought up Deion Branch yet, but continue. That guy was incredible.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Well, that's like, so that's, you think about how the offensive weapons evolved even before coming into this team. It was like, it went from Troy Brown. Who else was even the wide receivers back in the day? That 01 team. David Patton.
Christian Fourier.
Right. Jermaine Wiggins.
Yeah.
You look at these teams and it's like the evolution of the team from year to year it is so clear. And to me, this is the best out of all of them. Like I said, it was all 3 levels all at once. So to me, this is the best. Michael, we'll go to you first. Which of these 3 teams was the best version of the Patriots, or even your favorite, whatever you want?
No, it's 2004. I mean, there was no doubt about this team at any point aside from the Pittsburgh game, because they were such a well-oiled machine. I mean, you think about that defense, and going into week 1, you have Rodney Harrison, Tyler, Richard Seymour. You just drafted Vince Wilfork. You have Willie McGinnis. You have Ted Bruschi. I mean, they were a fucking wagon. And then you see the emergence of Deion Branch 2000 and 2003, and he really solidifies himself as a number 1. So much so that Bill's not going to pay him in a year or so. Gotcha. But then again, the just addition of Corey Dillon, like, this team could beat you 7-3, or they could outgun you 55-48.
Lowe's is the destination for Ego outdoor power equipment this spring. See what's new and exclusive, like the 17-inch string trimmer with Line IQ technology that auto-feeds to save you time, and the 22-inch Select Cut self-propelled mowers with a multi-blade system for precise cutting. Shop Ego Days, happening now during Spring Fest at Lowe's. We help, you save. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
Yep, for sure. 100%. Ray, which one's the best?
So the team is this year that we're talking about 04, but I mean, my personal favorite is the year before. Like, once again, we just talked about that game. Is, I mean, obviously there's another one that's coming that tops that game, but in this moment, that era, like that 03 Super Bowl was just special. But like I said, when we end up doing the Peyton Manning later on, was my heart stuff to pay. So I can't wait to talk about that. But yeah, team wise, yeah, it's 04. But yeah, I just think like to me my favorite one is 03.
Yeah, I completely hear the sentiment for sure.
Oh, excuse me.
It's 014 is definitely the best. It's not even close to me until you get to, I want to say maybe the perfect season loss or even the win against the Falcons. Those are the only two that rival it, I think. But we'll get there, and I don't know how many championships Boston won, like 17 shows. So I kind of just want to give everyone a little rundown of the NFL going into the playoffs. So spoiler alert, Patriots made the playoffs. They were 14-2. They were the second best team in the AFC, which I feel it wasn't 03 almost the same exact goddamn script. I feel like we've done this before. Wasn't it the same exact script?
Well, no, we were the number one team in 2003 because the AFC title game was at Gillette against Peyton.
It was
it felt eerily similar.
I mean, it was 14-2. I mean, that's why it sounds so similar, Bobby.
Yeah,
it's the same record.
Fair. And I think it was close to the same score in the Super Bowl, too. But so just to give you a little rundown here. So top two seeds in the AFC, Steelers, Patriots. Running down, we have the Colts as the 3 seed, number 1 offense in the NFL. We have the Chargers. This was the early Phillip Rivers. I think Drew Brees was actually the quarterback of that team, wasn't he? 04? Against the Jets. I want to say that was either Vinny Testaverde's Jets.
No, Chad Pennington.
Yeah, Pennington's Jets. Mr. Noodle Arm himself.
Not yet, though. Not that time. But eventually.
Yeah. And then the 6th seed in the AFC was the Jake Plummer-led Denver Broncos. Fun fact. Then over on the NFC side, 1 seed was, of course, the Philadelphia Eagles, 2 Atlanta Falcons, 3 Packers, 4 Seattle, 5 St. Louis, 6 Minnesota. Really the only 3 teams in this iteration of the NFL back in 2004 mattered, right? Maybe 4. You had the Colts, you had the Steelers, and you had the Patriots. So, those are the 3 in the Eagles because they kept going to championship games.
Yeah, I was just saying the Eagles because Andy Reid was getting that team to the NFC title game. Like, what was it, 3 or 4 years in a row? 5 years in a row?
Even
5 years in a row, and then this is the year they finally got over the hump.
Yeah, I mean, even you look, Atlanta was the 2 seed that year. I think that was, the end of like the Dirty Bird era. I don't even know. Oh, that was the beginning of the Vic era. What am I talking about, right?
Yeah, Chris Chandler was gone. Jamal Anderson was gone.
Yeah, Vic. That was
my cousin Ray Buchanan was gone. Yeah, it was the Algie Crumpler, Brian Finneran,
Algie Crumpler,
Michael Jenkins, Michael Turner. Well, no, Michael Turner might not got there yet, so it might have been work done. So yeah, it was that era. Yeah,
but I mean, they were still very young, up and coming. But those were the 3. Those were the big heads, right? And I'll never forget. Seeing Indy smoke Denver into that Patriots game, I don't know if anyone in New England, not one person, was nervous for this game.
Nope.
Especially, fun fact, I was at this game, but I'll never forget waking up in the morning. As soon as I saw the snow, I'll never forget. I looked out the window, went to my dad's room, and was like, "We're gonna fucking kill him. This game's fucking over." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, they don't stand a chance. And within 3 minutes, you knew. To me, the play that sticks out to me, I bought like a framed picture of this. It's the Harrison pick in the end zone. I was sitting right behind it. I had the view that you see in the picture where he's jumping up in the air, catching that. And it was just, that was locked up, man. I've never seen Peyton Manning look so lost than he looked in this game. He was a shell of himself. It was 20-3 was the final. We absolutely smashed them, and it was never close for one moment. Not for one moment of that football game was this close. That was domination from 15 minutes in the first quarter until the end. Domination.
And to give context to that season, right? Because I know we're kind of fast tracking ahead, which is okay because we know the end result. That was the first season since I think Marino where we were on quarterback, watched to see if someone was going to break the touchdown record. Manning did. Manning had 49 that year. At the time, was a record. He had a 6-touchdown performance on Thanksgiving against Detroit. I mean, everyone was like, "Oh my God, this high power offense is insane." What can you do with Marvin Harrison and Marcus Parlett and Richie Wayne and Edgerrin James, and they just cannot be stopped. And once again, and every time they came into it, especially once again early on, and we talked about this on the previous championship DNA episode, it was domination, just like Bobby said. Like they didn't have anybody figured out. And shout out to Jim Moore. Playoffs. When they got to the playoffs, baby, it was
you have to win a game.
It was welcome to the Patriots penitentiary. Like that's just what it was. So that's for you, Mike.
Well, I also just want to say that the context of the ass kicking that occurred in Foxborough. Bobby, you mentioned it 20-3. It was a year after that AFC title game when I think Peyton threw 4 interceptions. He looked terrible.
Waugh had all 4, right?
And the NFL made a rule that said that you could not hit a wide receiver within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Was that this game? That was this game?
Yep. And it was before the 2004 season.
Fucking Colts, man. They can't just take an ass kicking laying down. They always got to cause some kind of fucking controversy.
They come in thinking, okay, this is different. They can't do to us what they did last year. And then, like as you mentioned, it was 6-3 before halftime. And then the Patriots scored 2 touchdowns. But that was it. Done. It was and 20-3. Again, it only 17-point game. For those of you that are listening that remember that game, it was never in doubt. Ever in doubt.
Yeah, even the 6-3, it was only a matter of time before the Patriots actually started moving the ball. I remember it was, like I said, it was snowing like hell in that game. It was a lot harder than people thought it was going to. They just kept pounding Dillon over and over again, right up the middle, right up the middle, right up the middle, right up the middle. And eventually it broke through. And it just, what this game reminded me of? It was the first iteration. He didn't say it, obviously, but it was the first time I ever saw a quarterback seeing ghosts against Bill Belichick. Because Peyton Manning was absolutely seeing ghosts in this game. He didn't know where the hell he was, what the fuck was going on. And yeah, we absolutely kicked our ass. And again, Peyton Manning at this time, fucking loser. Fucking big-headed.
And if it wasn't for Rashae Caldwell, we wouldn't be speaking about him the way we speak about him.
You mean Mr. Mr. Eyeballs?
Like, we wouldn't be.
But I mean, you talked about, this is a game where if you rewind it a year, right? Antoine Smith had, I think, 20 carries for 100 yards in the AFC title game, and we thought that was dominant. So what did they do in the divisional game this year? Dillon gets the ball 23 times for 144. I mean, he averaged 6 yards per carry.
I want to put that into perspective for people too, because that's a great point. Is like, a lot of people forget this Patriots team was so successful with a running back who averaged 3.8 yards a carry for 4 straight seasons. Antoine Smith never broke big runs. That's not what he did. You pounded the ball up the middle and he got you 4 yards every time. And that's what he did. Corey Dillon had such an element to this. Like, yeah.
It was the yards after carry with him. Like you couldn't him down after one tackle.
Who was it against that he had that one run where he like went from left all the way back to the right?
It was in a close game. It was a close game.
It was a close game. Okay, all right.
Yeah, bounces off and it keeps going right and
stiff arm, right? It was a stiff arm.
When you see guys literally, and I know because someone who played on defense, there's times when you kind of go, let me just fall over here because you're not looking to get embarrassed. And shout out to Robert Mathis, shout out to Dwight Freeney, the 2 of the best defensive players that this league has ever seen. They weren't scared at the moment, but the other 9 guys on there were. You can rest assured they were getting, in the words of Adrian Broner, I'm getting cooked, bro. They was getting cooked. They was getting cooked, and there was nothing they could do about it at that time. And once again, you're going to set us up for the next game. But once again, what happened next warms my heart even more, maybe even more than the championship game Cador was against. But it warmed my heart to see what we did next.
Hey there, travelers. Kaylee Cuoco here. Sorry to interrupt your music, great artist BT Dubs, but wouldn't you rather be there to hear it live? With Priceline, you can get out of your dreams and into your dream concert. They've got millions of travel deals to get you to that festival, gig, rave, sound bath, or sonic experience you've been dreaming of. Download the Priceline app today, and you can save up to 60% off hotels and up to 50% off flights. So don't just dream about that trip. Book it with Priceline.
Go to your happy price, Priceline.
Yeah, man. So yeah, we'll get right into it. So again, Patriots have dispatched Peyton Manning, who at this time, this wasn't even a rivalry. This was comparison to like Yankee Sox pre 04. This was like we dominated Peyton Manning. Period. Not a rivalry. He's out again. Bye bye. Next, here we go again. The Pittsburgh fucking Steelers. I felt like every single year we had to go through them. It was kind of like like a Super Mario game, or like, whatever has like 18 different games where it's the same goddamn boss every single time, but it's just a little twinge and a little tweak to that team. But it was the same exact Pittsburgh Steelers identity, same exact shit. They're not scared of you. They will kick your ass if they need to. And that's terrifying to me because, like we said, we saw what they could do. If there was any team I was scared of in the NFL at this time, it was the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know what I mean? You knew what this team could do. The only saving grace was that Ben Roethlisberger was a rookie quarterback. That was the only thing in my head where I was like, all right, if we can get to this rookie quarterback, we're good. What do you guys remember? Mike, go first.
Yeah, I mean, I thought instantly after the Indy game, we were all watching to make sure that it was going to be Pittsburgh, and we had the chance to go back onto their field and kind of redeem ourselves from October. We don't have obviously like Ty Law is not there, but Asante's played enough for the rest of the season where he's pretty healthy, and we kind of know what we have with him. And the one thing that's always scared me about Pittsburgh, and it did then, it still does now, is their ability to draft the skill position. Because when you think about their top three wide receivers in the 2004 AFC title game, Hines Ward, Antoine Randall, Plexico Burris.
With Willie Parker in the backfield, right?
No, it was the bus still.
It was the bus. Okay.
When they beat Seattle.
So, I mean, you have a guy that's going to, literally torch us in 3 years. Plexico Burris, who was their third best wide receiver on that team at that point.
Yeah, right.
And they had a good defense. I mean, you had Troy Polamalu running around like a mother effer, just hitting anyone that he could. And James, I think it was James Ferrier was still on that team.
Ferrier,
Golden,
yeah,
Joey Porter.
Joey Porter, Larry Foote. I mean, the team,
Haggins,
that team,
Polamalu.
Yeah. But the thing that plagued that team, in my opinion, always up until that point still, was Bill Cowher. Like, you just never knew if the moment was going to be too big for him. At that point, again, see what you want about Ben. He allegedly had a rapist wit about him, but he was stone cold in that entire season. He tore through the league, and he looked better than Brady did in his rookie year. I mean, in the first year that he fully played. Like, so I saw the game, I saw the upcoming game. I'm thinking to myself, this is going to be tough. And again, it was one of those times when it wasn't close. This was like the legend of the folklore of Belichick and Brady. They're still undefeated in the playoffs up to this point. And I think at half, it was 24-3. I mean, what do you do?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so, right before I go ahead.
Well, I mean, I went back to 01 because I thought about, what happened, that we had to go through Pittsburgh then too. And I was more nervous with Cordell Stewart and Amber Zaraway and Jerome Bettis than I was of a rookie Ben Roethlisberger. Yes, the skilled players have always been decent there. I think that's just naturally what they do well there. They've only had 3 head coaches in their franchise history. So I don't know how fair it is to paint that picture on Bill Cowher, because I feel, obviously he ended up winning it the next year, but he had been to a couple Super Bowls, had been in a few AFC Championship games. So I do think that as a coach, he did what he could, but obviously he eventually got it done. But yeah, as far as the level of concern, I would say if it was out of 10, it was probably at a 7 or 8. But it wasn't because of the offense; it was because of their defense. And once again, it wasn't just still curtain like Joe Green and LC Underwood wasn't walking through the door. Neither was Jack Lambert. But like I said, they had a hell of a defense, and obviously I knew they got to Brady because he would never fleet a foot. We know that. And I remember what happened a few years when he got hurt in that game. So I was thinking like, okay, like just keep him upright and we're going to Super Bowl. But the play that sticks out, and I was waiting for us to get to this moment. This is where, we're talking about Brady becoming, not just a guy, but the guy. So Pittsburgh is starting
the bomb.
No, not or the bomb. The branch is one, but this play where I'm thinking about this. The throw was incredible. Celebration was even better. But I think about the play, the touchdown. So I think we needed to give us a patent. So basically, he sees that the cornerback is sagged off at the goal line. So he looks at Gibbons and says, basically gives him a guy trying to say, like, I'm coming to you. Changes the play at the line, throws a quick out to to Gibbons, and Gibbons scores a touchdown. And Pittsburgh was just making a run at that time. And that's where to me, it was like a play where you're like, oh, okay, like this, he's not just calling plays that Charlie Weiss and Bill are saying into the headset. He's seeing the game and he's giving the game what it requires. And that's where I think that's it. That particular play sticks out in my mind. It's like, okay, yeah, he's the guy, and that's the offense set it around, and that they trust him enough to make a play to say, okay, if you see something out there, because you're the one that's out there viewing it, make an adjustment as you see fit. He did, and that game basically got out of hand after that. After that play. So I thought that was a great indication of things to come when it came to Tom.
I thought, to piggyback off that, the bomb to Branch to me was the most symbolic evolution of Brady, besides, like you said, picking apart the defense like that, because that was his weak spot for the first 3 years, was that deep ball over the middle where I'll never forget, it was against the Raiders in like 01 or 02, where he had a bomb just like that. It was wide open for a touchdown, and he overthrew him by 15 yards. That's what Brady did, is he sailed these bombs every single time. And he hit Branch in the goddamn numbers. That was huge for me. Mike, I have a feeling your play might be the same. But what's the play you remember?
Eczema isn't always obvious, but it's real. And so is the relief from Ebglyss. After an initial dosing phase of 16 weeks, about 4 in 10 people taking Ebglyss achieved itch relief and clear or almost clear skin. And most of those people maintain skin that's still more clear at 1 year with monthly dosing.
Ebglyss, lebrikizumab, LBKZ, a 250 milligram per 2 milliliter injection, is a prescription medicine used to treat adults and children 12 years of age and older who weigh at least 88 pounds or 40 kilograms with moderate to severe eczema, also called atopic dermatitis, that is not well controlled with prescription therapies used on the skin or topicals, or who cannot use topical therapies. Ebglyss can be used with or without topical corticosteroids. Don't use if you're allergic to Ebglyss. Allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Eye problems can occur. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening eye problems. You should not receive a live vaccine when treated with Ebglyss. Before starting Ebglyss, tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection.
Searching for real relief? Ask your doctor about Ebglyss and visit ebglyss.lilly.com or call 1-800-LILY-RX or 1-800-545-5979.
Yeah, it's the bomb. I mean, only because, like you just said, not to reiterate it, is that was, we're coming from Bledsoe being the quarterback for so long, and all he would do is stand in the pocket and either get sacked or throw it 45 yards down the field. But you know that he could do it. And one of the gripes on Brady was the fact that he couldn't do that. And so against the defense that I would say was top tier and that has always been well coached, that was a signature play. It was like, okay, well, maybe he has a run.
Yeah. But what was also cool about that play too, to add on to that, right? I felt that was one of many plays in that era where they would say, fuck you to the defense. They would say, oh, you don't think we can do this? Let me show
watch. Yeah.
Watch this, so watch this. Like, watch this. And literally, like, I think that play just came off a turnover. And that's what I miss about I miss now. I miss that aggressive nature. It was like, okay, the mistake was made. Go for the kill. And that's exactly what happened. I think somebody fumbled. I don't know if it was, it was a fourth down stop. Boom, guessing play action. Because once again, Dylan was you had to bite on the fake because you didn't know if he was going to go. Had to bite on the fake, and you had to sit the single high coverage. He was like, "Oh, single high coverage, ball game." Dion was there, catches it, starts doing a little pony dance in the end zone, and I'm in the end zone like before Cam Newton was doing this. I'm like, "Let's go!" So he's like, "I was."
You were not doing that. You're lying. You did not do that. You're a liar. Another big play was really what capped. Steelers are driving, possibly pull within 7 before half. Rodney Harrison picks it off, brings it back 87 yards for a touchdown. That was it.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
that was ball game at that point. If Discord was a existence because Facebook didn't exist yet, so Discord is definitely a thing. Rayshawn definitely would have been in there saying #ball game. It's over.
Ball game.
Because that was it. That was it.
But I definitely yelled. I'm like that's the game. Like,
that's it, man.
It's a wrap.
Yeah,
it's a wrap.
Rookie quarterback down 24-3, and that's kind of what the Patriots did at that time. Was they put you away? They saw you down on the ground, and they stomped on you, especially at the end of halftime. This time it was a little unconventional because usually it's a stop, a drive, and then you get the ball back, and then you double up points on them. That 14-point swing was it. You shut down a team that would end up being one of the most electric teams in NFL history 2 years later. With, that Super Bowl victory against the Seahawks where Antoine Randall throwing 70-yard bombs to Hines Ward and stuff. You absolutely shut that squad down in the AFC Championship game. Just absolutely dominated them. And I think that's what stands out to me before we get to the Super Bowl. Because they kind of did that in the Super Bowl, too. It seemed close. It really wasn't. It was in
pretty
past
close.
years.
Yeah,
it was. So they scored that touchdown at the end, though. It didn't. We'll get to it. But where last year's, even if they won by big scores, like the Steelers in 01 or 03, it seemed a lot closer than it really was. Like the game was always on the line. Like they had to make that big play. This season was not that in the playoffs. Those 2 dominating victories. And then who's next? The fucking Philadelphia Eagles. I fucking hate the Eagles. I don't know if anyone out there knows this, but I have undying hate for the Philadelphia Eagles in my veins. So even if I hadn't already been a Pats fan at this time, all I wanted was the Patriots to fucking kill them. This Eagles team, to give everyone a little background on them. Remember they won, they were the Bills. They were essentially the Bills of this era. They went to 4 straight NFC Championship games, only got to 1 Super Bowl, which was this one. It was Donovan McNabb, T.O., Freddie Mitchell,
Ryan Westbrook,
Ryan
Dawkins.
Yeah, Dawkins. So
Javon Curse.
Yeah, Javon Curse.
Curse. Wow, the freak was there. That's right.
Listen, I know.
The year after he signed that free agent deal too, right? He was like the biggest.
Yeah. That team was loaded, and I just once again we could say that people could say that they weren't nervous. I was on Pistons because I was like, damn, T.O. was the missing piece over there. They had their own signature play with the 4th and 26 against Green Bay a few weeks before, and I was like, well, okay, like seems like they're gonna finally break through. So they just happened to be against us, and thankfully they got through. But yeah, that team was loaded.
Also, the scariest part about that team is that their best player, T.O., had always had this knock on him that he didn't care enough about the game, and then he comes back from a broken foot.
Yep. It goes for 9 and 122.
Right.
I said, oh my God.
It wasn't even like it was like 6 weeks. It was fucking 2 weeks removed from breaking a bone in his leg. That's absurd.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, this dude, and then that play, because I mean, luckily he didn't do what Larry Fitzgerald did a few years after.
The stiff arm play?
The stiff arm play, but he's running, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, I said, are we letting a one-leg man destroy us right now? Because that's what's happening.
Yes.
Like, so I'm saying,
but so your mistake there is Terrell Owens is not a man. He's a cyborg.
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember that sit-up video on ESPN.
Oh, right.
That dude is not a human specimen. That dude is cut beyond belief.
But I mean, once again, you said time machine, so we're speaking of 14-year-old me was just like, I can't believe. Once again, I knew he was a beast,
I
you know,
love T.O., bro.
remember the pom pom was out there, and
Oh, yeah.
I remember on that. That was great.
Owens.
Yeah, it was great, but it was just like, damn, like I'm like, yo, let Freddie Mitchell go off, let L.J. Smith go off, I don't think James Stats was on the team at the time, but I'm like, let Todd Pinkston, let one of them guys go off as opposed to 81. If 81 gets the ball, they clearly were playing inspired behind him, clearly, as they should have, because obviously for him to come back like that, let the team know, hey, I want to win as badly as y'all do. I'm trying to redeem myself, not just to the team, but to the city of Philadelphia. And I thought that he did until he didn't, and things went sour, after that moment. But yeah, that, like I said, that team and just him in general, they were a very special team. I in the back of my mind, I was like, yeah, they might get us on this one. They might actually and get one.
There was also a team, Bobby, because you said that it wasn't close. It was close. It was always close. And that was a team that just, that was the first Super Bowl match since the Rams where you felt like you were going up against an offense that could literally score it well. And the Patriots, including in this game, had still yet to score points in the first quarter of a Super Bowl under Bill Belichick. So like that,
it's so funny how that happened.
That's absolutely terrifying. And if it wasn't for Andy Reid's inability to manage the clock, or Donovan McNabb puking literally in the huddle,
knees weak, all sweaty,
who knows what happens in that game? Who knows?
Yeah.
Shane. When someone puke in the huddle, I feel like I gotta puke too.
Yeah, but Donovan didn't have the heart.
The only reason I said it wasn't, so I just feel like the only bright spot of this game for the Eagles was Terrell Owens. That's it, period. He's the only reason the Eagles were ever in this game. Listen, McNabb was great, but I feel like there's always something missing from McNabb in these big games. And I feel like the puking thing kind of just showed that, where like, I just don't think he ever had it, and I don't think he ever had that killer instinct. And in these big games, because every time they got there, they laid the egg. And I know you're saying it wasn't, but this was 24-14 until a minute 48 left in the game, bro. And that final touchdown, it made it close, but like the Eagles did not play good in this game. The Patriots handled them. Was it close? Yes, but the Patriots handled to the point where like you never really were sweating. They scored that touchdown. You're like, oh no, and you're like, oh, they got an onside kick. Right, we're good. Won Super Bowl.
Well, that was before the era of going to social media and saying, oh my God, they're gonna fucking fail. They're gonna blow it. This is fucking frauds. So it's just like, guarantee that would have been happening. Had the Facebook been more than the EDU email, you can rest assured folks would have been like, man.
Look, like Twitter wasn't even existed. Didn't even.
Yeah, I can't
different world, bro. Different world.
Which came into just to struggle with this. It's like, wait a minute, like they're about to win. Calm down. Like it's take a deep breath. So yeah, it just wasn't that deep, but. No, to your Philly point, man, I don't know, man. Like they ran into some teams, man. Like you got to think about it. They lost to the Rams. They ended up being a champion. They lost to Tampa Bay the next year. They were champions.
and fun fact, they lost to Atlanta the year that Atlanta went to the Super Bowl too.
Right. So it's just like it's hard when you're losing to the team that's going on to the Super Bowl and so winning it like that's hard. And I think maybe we're just lucky to draw. Once again, they had better talent the year. I don't think the team that got to Super Bowl was their best team.
Definitely not.
I think the team that lost to Tampa
what's his name at wide receiver?
In the old Veterans Stadium. James Thrash, Todd Pinkston.
James Pinkston Thrash, yep.
Yeah, Thrash, and older Dorsey Levens. And Deuce Staley was on that team. Shout out to my guy Deuce. So
best running back coach in the NFL.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, so I think that so they were kind of like on that last night. Like I said, perfectly. You said it perfectly earlier. They were the Buffalo Bills of the NFC. But like I say, it's hard and it's funny because we don't give the same love to our team up here that plays basketball. But when you make 5 straight conference championship games, that's hard. That's hard to do. And once again, we're giving them credit because it's not our squad, but it's that's hard to do, and it shouldn't be it shouldn't just be dismissed and put to the side. That's a hell of an accomplishment. It's just unfortunate they didn't win it until years later against the same team.
Just want to point out the fact that Donovan McNabb put up 350 yards against the number one defense in the National Football League, and it was the first time that the Patriots had let more than 325 yards up in 8 weeks.
Yeah,
but so like they
it was special. It was great. It was great,
and he was great. But you know what he's remembered for in this game?
Puking,
throwing up on the field with 2 minutes left in the goddamn Super Bowl. So like, he could throw for four. Listen,
or throw.
Tony Romo went through for 500 yards against Peyton Manning and almost beat him in that Denver Broncos team. But guess what? He fucking threw up all over himself and lost that fucking game. And that's what people were like. I have no.
That was a great game. I know that was a great game.
I would also say though, other most memorable thing was him throwing it to Rodney Harrison and then Rodney flapping his wings.
Yeah,
like that was just
the culmination. Give it to. Give it up and did the Eagles celebration too. So yeah, there was something that we remember. Yeah, but like I said, it was just once again it's unfortunate, but like I said, I'm just glad that we came out on top.
Yeah, MVP of this game. I feel like this was more of they gave it to him because of his performance throughout the playoffs. Because I feel like there could have been a few MVPs of this game. I think Harrison could have been MVP. I think Brady maybe should have been MVP.
No,
I thought it was going to be Brady. I was shocked when they gave it to Branch. I know he played amazing, but it just didn't seem like that was what was going to happen.
11 for 33.
He deserved
11 for 133.
He deserved it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Listen, when we get to the next one, or not next one, but when we get to another one, there was another guy that had 11 catches too. We thought he deserved it. So it is what it is. Deion Branch was, and I'll never shy away from that. Like that man, whether it was in the slot, whether it was running a deep post, whatever they needed him to do, even in the return game at times, that man delivered time after time after time. And I used to love, I think I'm so glad we did this because I was able to watch all the highlights. And shout out to Chris Berman and Tom Jackson. So Deion Branch, I miss hearing that. So yeah, but like I said, he deserved that moment. I get it because we're in a culture now that they always give it to the quarterback for the most part. But like I said, Deion Branch was
their next leading pass catcher in a team that had Ben Watson, Daniel Graham, David Gibbons, Troy Brown, was Corey Dillon. Corey Dillon, 3 catches for 31 yards. I mean, Deion Branch dominated.
He was the offense in this game. No, you're right. Yeah. Okay, fair. Quick pop back to that David Gibbons catch someone was talking about. I don't know why, but randomly this image popped in my head. That was the one where he had that huge red paint streak on his jersey, right? Or on his leg or something like. Do you guys remember that? I don't know why. That image popped in
the Steelers?
In the championship game, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Random, I know. I'm sorry. ADD, guys. It's a daily struggle. So, yeah, I mean, listen. We won another Super Bowl. It was fucking crazy. We beat the Eagles. It was definitely less climactic or anticlimactic compared to the other two. Still a 3-point game, as we said. But definitely not the same nail-biting, finish that it was. And that's it, guys. I mean, the New England Patriots are once again Super Bowl champions. Tom Brady now has 3 Super Bowls. Just a little aftermath. I'll let you guys obviously give your thoughts about this. But so at this time, this was the 3rd championship for Boston area sports teams in the last 12 months after going almost 30 years without one. We won 3 in 12 months, which is pretty fucking dope. This marked the first time since 89-90 that 2 teams in the same city, San Francisco, had won championship in the same 12-month calendar. Boston would go on and do that again about 10, 15 years later. Eagles, after this was it. This was the end of the run for the Eagles. T.O.'s famous quote after this game, after they lost the Super Bowl, was, "I told you I could do it. I told you I could do it." That's right. After his team just lost the Super Bowl, he was saying, "I can make the play. I did it. T.O., you just lost the Super Bowl. I did it." Anyways, this was the...
Oh, my God. I'm on a T-shirt.
What was it? Less than 6 months later, Terrell Owens, and it was like week 7 of the regular season, would be in his driveway doing push-ups or sit-ups saying, next question, next question, next question. And he was cut from the team. Funny story. Who would have known, right? It's crazy.
And I said that was a mistake, though.
Yeah. Philly hadn't won a championship up until that point. From 88, I think it was the last one was like 88 or no 83. The Sixers didn't win another one until 2017. So lots of dismay in Philly, which makes me very, very, very happy. Andy Reid would end up leaving the Eagles later. We already talked about him, his time control issues. Go on to win multiple Super Bowls with the Chiefs. Still having time control issues. Happened to get Patrick Mahomes. And lastly, as we know, sadly enough for everyone here, Eagles and Pats would meet again in a Super Bowl. Eagles had a similarly eerie road to winning that Super Bowl too, where they like flipped the Falcons and who did they play? Falcons and the other team they played, the Packers. Yeah, Falcons and the Packers, and then played the Pats. So same exact road to win their championship in 2017, which I thought was a fun fact. And yeah, you know, this is the last Super Bowl the Patriots would win until 2018. Yep.
Yeah. No, Seahawks.
Oh, Seahawks. Yeah, until Tom Brady screaming like a girl.
But I did too. I mean, so the weird part about this one is that it was 3 and 4 years. You knew going into the Super Bowl that Charlie Weis just taking the job with Notre Dame, and that Romeo was going to go take the job with the Chiefs. So it was
Cleveland.
Cleveland. So like this was the end of this run, but you felt like you still had all the horses. You still had the players, right? And then 3 weeks after the Super Bowl, Teddy Bruschi has a stroke, and from that moment on, it was like the Patriots were, you know, another line from the Replacements is like they were just in quicksand. They could never do enough to win again for another 10 years.
Quicksand's a scary mother, Shane.
And I know that this sounds you know, like me complaining as a Patriot fan, but to have that 4-year run of excellence, and then the next year you get your asses kicked in Denver by Jake the Snake, and then the year later you get to the AFC title game and Rashae Caldwell, and then the year later the imperfect season,
and then Brady any balls with those eyes,
and then Brady gets hurt. Like this was, you know, in 2013. Now you're talking about it's been 9 years since you won, and you still have pretty much the same core.
9 years. Oh.
I mean, but Bobby, you'd have to have a great quarterback coach for a long enough period of time to understand that. You know, Dallas never.
Well, he did. He just wasn't alive for it.
No, I was.
Landry and style, but you know, all the time I'm before Eminem. I'm something before that, but I'm like.
I was a Cowboys fan. I just didn't know who the quarterback of the Cowboys was. So
Quincy Carter.
Well, at the time, not that you know what I'm talking.
No, but
I loved Quincy Carter, bro. Do not turn this into a Quincy Carter show, because it will happen. Okay, it will happen.
Number 17, number 17 on the field, number 1 in your heart.
Here you go.
UGA, baby. One for drug addiction. He could have been one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to follow that, but no, but I mean, my major takeaway from that, like I said, you know, obviously the dominance happened pretty quickly. Yeah, I forgot about Weiss leaving to go. I don't know why that happened the year after, but I mean, Cornell leaving too. But I was hoping that we brought it up because I looked at Football Reference. That coaching staff was loaded.
Absurd. Yeah, I saw it too. Absurd.
Ryan Dable, Charlie Weiss, Romeo Cornell, Brian Flores, Josh McDaniel was all on that staff at that time.
Even the front office was loaded too.
Yeah,
Scott Pioli. There's a couple other guys too.
I think was it Dimitroff there? Was it
Dimitroff? That's who. Dimitroff. Yeah.
Went brought to Atlanta and built something down there. So like it was unreal.
Nick Caserio.
Yeah, like the brain trust they had in that room.
Dean Pease, Eric Mangini, Pepper Johnson.
Yep. So Dean Pease. So
Josh McDaniels.
Yep.
Jeez, Patricia.
No, remember, you know, he was on that one yet.
Yeah, he was 04. He was 04.
Well, you know, they didn't show enough Football Reference, so maybe
he probably ran the defense.
Got you, Chimp. Well, no, because they wouldn't have won. But sorry, I had to get that out there one more time. Welcome back, Billy. But yeah, but no, like they like I said, the brain trust was crazy, and something we've mentioned on the show, whether we're in a time capsule or not, good coaching matters. And once again, they had it, and that's what separated them from many other teams in the league at that time. And the coaching tree from that particular staff went on to do some really good things, not just in the NFL, but every other level as well, and even in the front office. So, once again, they got it done, and they set the bar for excellence going forward.
All right, guys. So, I mean, that really, I think I'll give you guys final words, but that puts a button on the 2004 Patriots for this iteration of the New England Patriots, this first dynasty of the 7 that come later. They really are a fucking Star Wars franchise. That they have like 3 Super Bowls and then they take 10 years off and then they do 3 more fucking Super Bowls. Same script, same fucking
wild.
All the same shit. We're doing this shit again, guys, but it's different.
Wild that in that 10-year off period they went 18-1.
Yeah.
Yep.
I hate that fucking season. That was what turned me. That was what turned me against them.
They get you anywhere.
We might have to do a championship regret special on that season. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, Mike, last words. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it was looking back on it now. I wish I would have appreciated it more as a 16-year-old, because at that time, like as you mentioned, we had just won like 3 championships in 12 months or 18 months. Yeah, 12 months. And you just thought that it didn't matter because in 2005, it was going to keep happening. And that's when, in my opinion, Patriot fans, myself included, but I kind of started straying away from that really hard in 2007. That's when we became so obnoxious because we just assumed that it was going, like we deserved it because it had happened so easily. But you look back on that team, and I don't think, I know regionally, like here in New England, we talk about it. I would stack that 2004 team up against any of the greats in NFL history, and I would still like our chances.
Right.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. But then that team was special, and once again, like I said, it set the bar for excellence. So that's my biggest final word. And I'm glad that I was able to be a witness to it. I was basically living with my grandmother at the time, so she would tell me like, "Hey, this is not always guaranteed." And I'm like, "Hey, Grandma, Jim Rice and Dwight Evans and Rico Petrocelli and George Scott, them guys, they walking through the door. It's a new day. Yes, it is."
I love how Rayshawn just went on a rainbow of 4 different sports in that explanation.
I'm glad it, once again, Tippett, Morgan,
thrown in there, it was great.
Whoever you want to throw in there, Larry Bird, whoever, they're not coming to that door. So, but yeah, we bringing many others took it for granted, and it's just like they were still in the mix. Though I know, like I said, we definitely got spoiled by the time before it came around, but in those 10 years, they still made the Super Bowl another 3 times. What's it? It wasn't like and once again, the AFC literally ran through all for a number of years, like literally, like that's once again that's not a prediction. It's a spoiler. Like it's fact, not opinion. So once again, we were thankful to go through the best era of Boston sports, and just thankful to be a fan. So love you, Tom.
So my only last thing is this 04 team, really this iteration of Patriots, we've just kind of been a trend through this trilogy of Patriots Super Bowls as they changed the landscape of Boston sports to me. As much as, I ended up despising the Patriots and, their fan, everything, they changed the mindset of everything Boston from these lovable losers that are diehard still, who always show up to their squad, to this still knowledgeable team, but that they expect winning. And I feel like that really did change the landscape of Boston sports, because following this trend, you see, like we said, you see enough championships to the point where we can make a goddamn special podcast show about each one of them and have a 20 episode series about these Boston championships, which at the time, if you were to rewind back 4 years, if you went to our dads or our grandpas or anyone in Boston, you told them this, they would literally look you in the face and say, go fuck yourself. Fuck you, bro. What the fuck are you talking about? Not like it was unfathomable what had just happened. And, obviously, guys, there's plenty more to come. We have to wait a little bit for another Patriots one, but Red Sox, Celtics, Bruins, they're all coming down the line. It's been 2004 New England Patriots, the championship rewrap. 3 out of 4 Super Bowls, guys. Feels great. See you later.
Hi, I'm Sherilyn Fenn from Twin Peaks. What did you do on your last Saturday night?
Did you hear something?
Toilet paper.
There's none. Nada. The reserves have gone dry. People are hoarding it. I should have done that.
They're all out of hand sanitizer at my Target.
Mark, when did you last watch the news?
We are getting reports of forced quarantines in China, Japan, and now Italy.
You're cutting onions in half and putting them around your apartment.
Yes, exactly. It kills the COVID.
Excuse me?
Let's go. Let's go. Get in.
Vamos, rápido.
Have you ever driven one of these?
Never.
I'll drive, ladies.
I've got the keys.
Excuse me, I'm lost. I'm looking for my wife. I got turned around.
Join me, Eric Roberts, Jennifer Elise Cox, and Ed Asner for The Last Saturday Night, an Electrocast podcast. You'll love it. Electrocast. Electrocast.